So in this episode, we will learn how we can actually extract some specific values from each row of the table that we had in the temp2 variable. So what we are actually interested in doing is that we want to extract these numerical values for opening price, for high price, and other features that we have in each row of the table on the Yahoo Finance website. Now we want to extract these particular numerical values because we will be plotting the values in MATLAB in some time, in some episodes, and we cannot do that unless we have them extracted from this string, which is in turn saved in this cell array of temp2 variable. So we will accomplish this particular extraction by using a function called textscan. Now textscan is actually a function which takes as input any variable containing strings, and from that string it actually looks for particular characters and it extracts characters before or after the characters mentioned. Now the functionality of textscan is a bit convoluted and complex, and I understand that. And I understand that you will only learn how to use textscan when you yourself use it. So I'll begin using textscan here. I'll define a new variable called temp3, and I will scan the text stored in the variable temp2. And after that, I will use the rectangular braces, and inside that I will use single quotes to represent the string. Now what we want to actually look for is inside each cell element of temp2 variable. So what we'll do is we'll just copy this entire term starting from the colon to the end, and by end I mean the curly braces, and I'll paste it here inside the single quotes. I'll explain why we are doing it in a short while. Okay, so now we have pasted the entire string that we had in any cell element of temp2. So it does not matter which cell element you choose, as long as you just copy and paste the entire string starting from the colon to the curly braces over here. Okay, so now what we'll do is we will remove the numerical part or the numbers and the comma after that and replace them with %f. I'll explain everything about what we're doing now in a bit. For now, just replace every numeral and the comma after that with %f. Do not remove anything else, not even the colon after that, after any string. Just remove the number and the comma after that. Okay, so after this we'll add a few more things, a few more features of textscan. We'll use the comma and 3 dots to bring our code to the next line, and we'll then define a term called delimiter, and we make the comma as a delimiter, and we'll add one more feature called treat as empty, and we'll treat null values as empty values. So let me now take you through this entire line of code and what it does. So what this, I had accidentally removed the colon in the beginning, so I'll just write it down again. And now you will see that this code is actually scanning every cell element of temp2 for initially a colon, and then it will extract the floating point numeral after that because we have %f here. After that, it will look for the next string, which is open and then a colon, and then it will again extract the next numeral after that. So we have used the term delimiter here because you will see here that every data here, like every column of the table, is separated by using a comma here, okay? So we can also use the comma to actually let MATLAB know when to stop extracting a particular type of data. So after it has extracted the numeral, it will find that we have a comma here, and it will stop that particular extraction over there. Then it will move on to the next extraction after open, and then so on and so forth. So delimiter is actually anything, any kind of character that actually lets MATLAB know that it needs to stop extracting a particular type of data at that point. So MATLAB will stop extracting data at every comma. Alright, so that's why we have used comma as the delimiter here. And any null values that we have inside or after open or high or the date value will be made an empty value instead of null. So this particular line will let MATLAB make any null value as an empty value. However, if I were to run this code, you will find that we will get an error. And we will get the error because we have a lot of cell elements in temp2. However, we are only running this line of code for once. What we'll do is we will just make a loop here. I equals to 1 to the length of temp2, obviously, and we'll end it here. And we will access each element of the temp2 cell by using the curly braces notation. I equals to 1 to length of temp2, obviously. Yeah. So now we can do is we can just run the whole code and see if we get the data we wanted in separate fields. So as it says that we have here an error, unknown parameter treat as empty. So maybe I have the spelling a bit wrong, and it should be treat and not teat. I'll just change it and run the code again. And now you will find that within temp3 we have the last scanned elements values. Now we have a problem here, right? We only have the last element here. What we'll do is we'll save in temp3 the values in a matrix format. So we'll, as you can check here, that the data is stored in a row-wise format, and therefore for each iteration we will have one extra row of data, right? So what we'll do is we'll just change the row by mentioning ith row, and the column will be depending upon the number of columns that we have after scanning a particular cell in temp2. Now it's always good to define temp3 here. We'll just define temp3 as an empty cell array before that. And let's just run this again. Okay, and now you will see that in temp3 variable we have the data that we wanted to extract from the historical data table. So initially in the first column we have the date, in the second column we have the opening price followed by the closing price and other data as well. So each column in temp3 contains the data that we wanted. So I guess that we have covered a lot of topic in this episode, and we'll continue our discussion in the next episode.